Hello everyone, today in our music lesson we are going to look at some simple things. We're going to look at rhythm and pitch. Okay, we're going to combine the two together and we're going to be looking at different pitches and we're going to try and keep a rhythm. Now this is a special type of Irish drum. It's only a small one, but it's called a bodhrán and it's used for lots of fast rhythms. It's got two ends on the beater so that you can do things really fast with it, but I'm just going to be using it steadily today to create a nice little rhythm for us to play along with, or a beat I should say. So this is the beat, and as I play that I want you to tap on your hip with your hand. Do it with me now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going for me. Keep going on that. Keep it in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. So that's what you're going to be doing with one of your hands today. Now we need to bring in our pitch. So here is our C bell. La, Si. So that's our first note, and we're going to be looking at the notes of the C major scale today, starting on the low C. Now, when I play a C bell, every time you need to touch your toes. Remember, you've got to keep your legs straight to touch your toes, and you've got to go all the way down to touch your toes, like this. Let's do that one more time. Got to go all the way down and make sure you touch your toes really nicely there. And that's every time I play a C. But don't forget, you're also tapping your hip like this. Let's try it together. C. And again. So you've got to keep going with the tapping on the beat and tap your toes every time I play a C. Now our second note is an E. I'm going to play it for you now. And an E is the third note of the scale. C, C, D, E. So we've got our second bell now, our third note of the scale, our E, C, D, E. And that E, I want you to touch your hips. Put your hands on your hips, but one hand, don't forget your other hand is still tapping that beat. E. Let's try and do a C and an E together. Here's the beat. Now I'm going to keep that going and we're going to add our bells, our C and our E, and we'll tap along. Here we go, we'll tap along. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, E, C, E, C, E, C, E. Good, now we're going to add our next bell, and it's the G. Let's count and see where on the scale that comes. We've got C, D, E, F, G. So the G is our fifth note on the musical scale. So we're going to go from our C, E to our G. So we're going up the scale now, and this is our fifth note. And for this one, I want you to touch your shoulders with one hand. And don't forget to keep that beat going. We're going to touch our shoulders now when you hear the G. So let's add that. C, E, G. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, E, G again. C, E, G. Toes, hip, shoulders. Toes, hip, shoulders. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So every time you hear those bells, you've got to do those actions. And we've got one more bell that we're going to add before we start mixing those patterns up and get you doing some really good musical exercises. So we're going to look at our top C. Now every musical scale starts and finishes on the same note. So we've got our C, C, that's the low C. We're going to go up to a high C now. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and that's an eighth. It's the eighth note up. It's the eighth above the bottom C, which means it's a whole octave. We call it an octave, that set of 8 notes above the bottom note. So for the top C, I want you to touch your head. Okay, let's try that beat. Don't forget our beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Top C, touch your head. Let's go all the way. C, E, G, C. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, E, G, C. C, E, G, C. C, E, G, C. Good, that's excellent. So now you know what to do for our 4 notes. You're going to keep tapping that rhythm with one arm, and then on the with the other hand, you're going to touch your toes, your waist, your shoulders, and your head. Okay, so make sure you're doing all those things. Some really good musical exercises going on. Now, in next week's lesson, I'm going to set you some patterns to follow, and I will play the bells, and you will have to follow with the correct movements. So it is important that you practice the movements this week with this video, so that next week you can do the patterns correctly. Now, I'm just going to set you one pattern now. It has a special name which I will tell you about next week, and this is a good pattern for you to practice the movements with. You're going to start on a low C, go up all the bells to the high C, and then back down again and repeat. Don't forget to tap with one hand whilst you do the actions with the other hand. Practice this carefully, and next week I will create some more interesting patterns for you to follow, and then I will challenge you to create your own. Here it is then, up and down, from the C to the C and back. Play this part of the video as many times as you need to get it right. Okay, well done everyone. Keep practicing all your patterns and movements for next week's video. Do take care and stay safe. Bye.